Hello, my name is Marcus and welcome to a completely very nice and clean table. Just take that up. Yeah, we've had a birthday party for me recently actually, so it's nice and clean today. But that's not why we're here. The reason we're here is of course for another tabletop reviews and another Ticket to Ride game, this time in San Francisco. Yes, I didn't manage to get it at Essen Spiel like I wanted to, but then like 2 days after making my video about it, I found it in a local Danish store and I was like, do I not? Well, I did. So, another small box game. I thought I've reviewed the two other small box games that I have, and I thought it was only natural to review this one before I got into the other expansions. And once I get London, I will also review that one at the end of the cycle. But for now, we've got to concentrate and get some of the other Ticket to Rides reviewed. But let's start with this one. Of course, it is now on Mondays. Mondays is going to be Ticket to Ride for a little while. Just trying to catch up. I've missed, I think, 3 Wednesdays now of uploading. So trying to catch up with doing this on Mondays and then regular games on Wednesdays. Moving along a little bit with some pace. Shouldn't be taking that much. Anyways, hit the table. Let's set it up. Let's play some Ticket to Ride. Right, let's set up San Francisco. Like with every other Ticket to Ride, there is a little central board here which you will grab and place down and bam. Then we'll choose the colors. I will choose the two somewhat distinct colors, purple and pink here, and we'll of course get a little bag of trams to go with that. Alright, let's do player setup continued here. You have all of these cards here, the colored cards that we have in every other Ticket to Ride. I can't remember, I think they call it train cards in most of those. I think these are like travel cards or something. Each player will get 2 to start off with, and then in a pile up here, you'll flip over 5. It should be face up. There we go. Then we'll shuffle up the root cards, or whatever you want to call them, root cards, yes. Each player will get 2 only, and of course we'll choose minimum of 1 to keep, but you can keep both of them. And yeah, if you choose to keep one out, it will be put at the bottom of the pile, otherwise we'll just keep them. So, last little bit of setup. You have all these small tokens here, cutouts. There are 3 of each. Now in a 2-player game like this one, you'll grab 2 of them and place on all the ones that are red. Can you see it? Let me zoom in on the board here, just the corner. As you can see, this one's red, this one is blue. Of the red ones, there are 5 on the board, and you place 2 of these little small round ones, this is the pink one, on those, because it is a 2-player game. In a 3-player game, you will also place down 2, and only in a 4-player game will you place down all 3 of them. And just in a second, you'll probably notice something. Yes, in fact, there are 2 colors left after my random distribution. Now, let's say pink starts. That means that purple get to choose take one from each of the remaining colors and decide where to place them on the board. So let's look at purple's roots here. You want to place them somewhere that they need. So let's see, Lombard Street they need, and Height Ashbury they need. So place them very to your route, hoping that the other player here doesn't get them. Now then, on your turn, there are of course 3 things that you can do. First thing is you can take, let me just zoom out so you can see it again here, from the cards. You can take 2, so you can draw 2 of these face-up ones, maybe the 2 purple ones, maybe the black and the 1, you know, however, or draw 2 from the top of the pile. And one of them is this one. Normally it's a locomotive card. This one it is a steamboat card. It is multicolored, counts for colors. You can only grab 1 if it is face up. If you're lucky enough to draw one, which I wasn't, you get to keep it and still draw another one, even if it's the top card. But when it's face up, you only get to take that one. Next thing is, you can of course place down your trams. So, for example, we use this one purple one here, and we'll place down a train right here. Alright, now in this one, two things will happen when you place this one down. The first is you get points for how many trains. 1, 2, 3, or 5. Big one here. One train gives you 1 point, so pink will receive 1 point. Now then, you also get to grab one of these ones, because you're touching it. It goes right there, you have that now. You're not allowed to take a second one, so if you do the green one, you're not allowed to take the second one of these. But you now have one of them, which are points at the end. Alright, and the third and final thing you can do in your turn is of course draw 2 new road cards and keep a minimum for one of them. So that's what you can do in your turn. You finish up the game when someone has only 2 trams left, or less, of course, 1 or 0 also counts. And then that's the last round. That person just took their last round, now it's Purple's turn to take their last round, and then the game ends. And of course there are 3 scoring categories. The first one is the trains you place down, you score those along the game. And then you have your routes. If you completed a route, or completed this one, for example, I would get 5 points. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. But if I didn't complete this one, I'd get -3. 1, 2, 3. And then these ones, these little tourist markers, are also shown over here. So here you have 0 or 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. You get, for 0 or 1 you get 0 points, for 2 you get 1 point, for 3 you get 2 points, for 4 you get 4 points, for 5 you get 6 points, for 6 you get 9 points, for 7 you get 12 points. You will add those to your total score, and then whoever has the most amount of points is the winner. That is setup and gameplay, very simple. And then we have the setup of Ticket to Ride San Francisco. So let's talk about the gameplay real quick. Going over the gameplay, it is the same every other Ticket to Ride, except for its small change. What the hell is that clock you have found? Hold on 1 second. If you want to know every time you dropped a small little thing, get yourself a cat. They will find it and they will play with it to annoy you. Anyways, the small change in this one is of course the, what you want to call it, sightseeing, whatever, where you get a little token if you visited a special part of the track. Reminds you a little bit of Pennsylvania, where you get a stock in a company every time you visit certain tracks. Except in this one, in Pennsylvania, it's the tracks themselves, something like that. In this one, it's like the parts of the city that can give you one. It's very interesting. There's very few in it, and I think Pennsylvania did it a lot better and like try and get majority of these companies and stuff. On this one, obviously, just kind of get one and you get a bonus for that, and there is enough for every player. And yeah, I don't think that fitted a small box game like this that much. Unfortunately, yeah. I would have loved to have seen it done differently. You know, the New York one did the thing where you get an extra bonus for certain tourist attractions. This one, I don't know if it's tourist attractions, I don't know enough about San Francisco to say that. But it's just this thing about, you know, like in Pennsylvania where you get the most of them. This one is just get one and you get a bonus. And when there isn't enough for every player, then all of a sudden it does become this thing about getting them first, but you don't get an advantage for getting them first or second. It's just you get them. And it will make an interesting one if you're standing at a red destination and a blue destination and one, and like, which one am I going to choose? It's funny, you choose the red one. Next time, red and blue, no interesting choice, you're going to get the blue one. So I don't think it worked totally well on this small box game here, but otherwise the gameplay is still Ticket to Ride, and it's just a different scoring opportunity, and I do love these small box games still. So the gameplay is perfectly fine, I just don't think it worked that terribly well. A small box game, but otherwise it's still Ticket to Ride, still a to love. Components wise, well, it's the same components as always. This time you're using trams or whatever you want to call them. I'm opening the box for the very first time ever in one of these, I think. These little tram things, yeah, trams, whatever. I don't know if that's the right word for it. I don't know why I opened the box. Anyways, trams things, they're nice, very nice. I like these small box games because they print something different with the plastic bits and showcasing that it's not just train cards that can do really well. They can do other things really well. And do this one, taxis or carts from Amsterdam. I don't know what it is going to be in London. I imagine it's going to be buses, but and trams and showcasing that those things really work. The board is still, I think, Ticket to Ride, as I say, is the series of the best central boards, and they continue that in here, my personal opinion. The cards are small cards, but as always, the card quality is good. It's just the size of them. It makes sense for this one, but I hate small cards because I have 2 big hands. And then you have cardboard cutout. As far as I know, this is the first time there's cardboard cutout in a Ticket to Ride game. I haven't played all of them. I will admit, I haven't played France and Old West. I haven't played the new Northern Lights. I haven't played London. I haven't played Poland. That's Germany. Yeah. Anyways, as far as I know, this is the only time that they use cardboard cutout. It's at least the first time I've played cardboard cutout, and I think they did it perfectly fine. Cardboard cutout, I think, can be done good, or it can be done bad. I don't think they can be done great. I don't think they can be done terribly. Well, maybe they can be done terribly, but I don't think you're gonna hit great. But this one hits good. They pop out and they have not the coloring. Yeah, they have the color, but also have the artwork on it, the fish or whatever. To be very simple and very useful, quickly see what it is. Very distinguishable. They do what they need to do. They are good components. So components, as always, is just top notch from the Ticket to Ride series, from LMM, from Days of Wonder. They're probably the ones that need the real the compliment from this one. The components is probably Days of Wonder, as I say. So the theme. As always with these small ones, I struggle with the theme because they show that Ticket to Ride maybe not need the train one, but at the same time with the small one, this one working the size, it's the same one as the last couple of views. The theme goes through. You're traveling around San Francisco in these trams and visiting some places in San Francisco. That probably makes sense. As I say, I don't know enough about San Francisco to know if this makes a lot of sense, but I imagine that it does. Also a bit of travel in the 80s, right? I believe it's set in the 80s. I'm at least getting that vibe just from the cover and from some of the artwork. Fat trams themselves. I might be wrong, of course, but that's just kind of the feel that I get 80s-ish. Maybe I'm just weird. But yeah, the theme, it does go through, but also proving that Ticket to Ride can have any theme. So it's a weird one, right? But what is my final score? Well, my final score, I think, has been an 8 for all these small box games. I'm just gonna keep this one in the 8 theme. It's gonna stay with the 8. I don't see any reason. The cardboard cutouts, assembling them, as I say, it doesn't overly work for me, but the Ticket to Ride is strong enough to make it an 8 still. Because it's still funny, it's still interesting, you're still trying to be the first one to grab them, not the last one. I just need something for 2 and 3 players that give you an incentive to collect them more. Because the only thing is take that element, I'm making sure you don't get it. Otherwise, it's perfectly fine. Extra scoring opportunity. Maybe this would have just worked as just base Ticket to Ride, but in a small box. Maybe that would have been a bit better, but it's still fine. It's still an 8. It's still Ticket to Ride. I'm still keeping it, obviously, because I want to keep all the Ticket to Rides. I've skipped a step. I've skipped Does It Lie to You? My favorite part, because I just love saying Does It Lie to You? I don't know, I find it funny, but I don't think you do. Does it let you? 2 to 4 players, 8 and up, 10 and 15 minutes. The same as always. 2 to 4, there are components up to 4 players within the box. You can't really get any more currently for the trams. So yeah, 2 to 4, 8 and up. It's the same as every other. Okay, it's just as every other Ticket to Ride, every other game I say. 10, maybe 8. 8 is fine. This is not that complicated. I think it is perfectly fine. 10 to 15 minutes, that's the entire point of these small box games, is to be just 10, 15 minutes long. Yes. If you know the rules of Ticket to Ride, you don't really need to learn anything new. You just need to know, land on the red, if you land on the red one, you get the red one. Perfectly fine, let's get moving. And then it's 10 to 15 minutes. So, okay, that was all out of the way. Does it let you was the end this time? That's how it goes sometimes. Thank you very much for watching this video. And listen to me talk about Ticket to Ride San Francisco. Another great Ticket to Ride game from Days of Wonder Island and Our Moon. Just continuing to make these series. I've heard no of them lights just released. I thought that was not until next year. But just continuing to be great. Thank you very much for watching, and I hope to see you in the next one. Bye.